Begin kneeling on the mat, using a block or a towel for support, and placing the hands palms up on the thighs. We'll inhale deeply through the nose and exhale from the stomach. Full and complete breaths in, connecting the mind with the body and the breath. And as you root down through the legs, on the next inhale, interlace the fingers and press the palms out and overhead. Breathing deeply into the low body, stretching the palms away from the ground and reaching the tailbone down. Inhale here, and on the exhale, dropping the hands to the side and bringing the opposite finger on top. Inhaling, pressing the palms forward and overhead, dropping the shoulder blades down the back, reaching the tailbone towards the ground, lifting through the hands and the chest. And exhale, release the palms to the side, pressing the palms into the ground behind you, fingertips towards the bottom. Lift the chest and the hips away from the arms. Maybe bend into the elbows and lift the knees off the ground slightly. And then we're going to come forward, pressing the palms forward, reaching the hips towards the heels and dropping the chest and the head towards the ground, coming into child's pose. Releasing the low back, letting go of any tension in the shoulders and the neck. Inhale and scoop forward, bringing the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Palms on the ground, flat in front of you. Lift through the crown of the head, find a straight neck. Press into the pelvis. Drop the shoulder blades down the back and press the chest forward between the arms, coming into Sphinx pose. Exhale, dropping the chest. Extending the arms out at shoulder height, palms down, and resting the right side of the cheek on the ground. Inhale and flip the left hip and leg up and over to the side as you pivot the left arm up and over as if you're drawing a rainbow, reaching the backs of the palms towards one another, a deep stretch through the front of the chest. Exhale back through the center, and inhale the right hip up and over, extending the right arm. Back of the hand reaches towards the back of the left hand, opening through the chest. Exhale and release back to center, drawing the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing into the pelvis, pressing into the tops of the feet, rotating the shoulder blades down the back, and then peeling the chest off the ground, pressing the chest forward away from the shoulders, lifting through the crown of the head. Exhale and release. Curl the toes under, come up to the knees, and then press the hips up high, lifting high onto the heels, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, lifting the tailbone towards the sky or the ceiling, and slowly lowering the heels towards the ground. Pedaling the feet out in our first downward dog here, bending one knee and then the other, stretching through the backs of the legs, and finally coming to some stillness, both heels reaching towards the ground as the tailbone lifts up, palms pressing firmly into the mat. Inhale the right leg straight up, pressing through the heel, and then open that heel over the left hip, stretching through the front of the right hip. Inhale that right knee forward between the hands and coming into a lunge here, hands on the mat or on a block, rocking forward and backwards, stretching through the left leg, the left thigh, and then dropping the left knee onto the ground, lifting the chest, placing the hands on the right knee and sinking the hips forward. Make sure the right knee is directly over the right ankle, not forward or backward. And we'll bring our hands back to the mat and sit the hips up and back, digging that right heel into the ground as we draw the right hip back to meet the left, straightening through that front leg, dropping the chest towards the thigh. Inhale forward, curl the toes of the back leg under, and then peeling that left knee off the ground, coming into a runner's lunge again. Now we're going to drop the left heel down, square the hips towards the short edge of the mat, and rise up, sinking the hips down, inhaling the arms to the side and overhead, coming into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Make sure that knee is directly over the ankle, hips squared forward, shoulder blades drawing down the back, arms lifting. Inhale and rise up. Open the hips out towards the long edge of the mat. Exhale, sink the hips low. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height, reaching the fingertips strongly away from each other. Virabhadrasana 2. From here we're going to flow into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So inhale and rise up, straightening that front leg, drawing the thigh back. Open the palms forward and then reach forward and down, finding a straight line, as straight a line as you can from the top arm straight down to the bottom arm. Extending through both side waists, lifting through the chest, opening the stomach up towards the ceiling. Try not to lock the knee out here, but imagine if you were pressed up against a wall that the shoulders would be stacked and the hips would be stacked. Everything would be in line with each other. On an inhale, rise up, sink the knees down, come into Virabhadrasana 2 again, Warrior 2. Exhale, inhale, Warrior 1, hips rotate forward, and exhale, palms come to the mat, the runner's lunge. Both feet step back to plank. Inhale at the top of the plank, then rock forward on the toes and come down to the knees, or chaturanga, down to upward dog. And lifting the hips high, sit up and back into downward dog. Inhale the left leg high overhead, opening through that left hip. And exhale the heel over the right hip. Inhale, draw the knee forward between the hands, sink the hips low, coming into a runner's lunge, rocking forward and backwards, just stretching out that right thigh. Drop the right knee onto the ground, maybe curl the right toes under for support, and sink the hips forward as you lift the chest and draw the hands onto the knee, onto the left knee. Make sure to check the alignment of the knee directly underneath the ankle on the left side there. Then we'll place the hands on the mat and sit the hips up and back, digging the left heel into the ground as you draw the left toes towards you and draw the left hip back to meet the right hip, extending through that left leg. Inhale forward, curl the toes of the right foot under, come up into your runner's lunge, then drop that heel, and from the strength of the legs, come up to standing into Virabhadrasana 1 again, sinking the hips low, knee directly over the ankle, shoulder blades drawing down the back as the chest lifts. Inhale and rise up, then sink the hips low, opening the hips towards the long edge of the mat and extending the hands strongly away from each other, out at shoulder height, maybe turning the gaze over the front arm, or maybe keeping the head straight in line. Inhale straight up, and reach forward and down, Trikonasana, triangle pose, stacking the shoulders one on top of the other, drawing the thigh up to protect the knee, not overextending that knee. I'm going to take several deep breaths here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling, and just use that time to focus on flattening the body, rotating the chest and stomach up towards the ceiling. Inhale and come back to Virabhadrasana 2, sinking the hips low, breathing here. Exhale and then inhale Virabhadrasana 1, hips rotate towards the short edge of the mat, and exhale, palms to the ground, runner's lunge, step it forward to a forward fold, bending the knees as much as needed to draw the chest to the thighs, lifting the tailbone towards the ceiling or the sky, and then inhale, sweep the arms to the side and overhead, exhale, palms to heart center, come to stand at the center of your mat, grounding down through the left leg, finding your balance on all 4 points of the feet, spreading the toes wide, and then opening the right knee out to the side, placing the right heel on the ankle, or drawing the foot flat into the shin, or drawing the foot all the way up into the inner thigh area, squeezing the foot into the thigh, pressing the palms together at heart center, or extending the arms overhead. Coming into tree pose, remember to ground and root down through that left leg. Inhale and exhale, release to mountain pose, palms at heart center. And then grounding and rooting down through the right leg, opening up through the left knee, placing the left heel on the ankle or the left foot on the inner shin, or all the way up into the inner thigh area. Finding your balance through that right leg, grounding down, squeezing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot, and pressing the palms at heart center, or inhaling the arms overhead, drawing the shoulder blades down the back as you reach the fingers away from the feet, reaching in opposite directions. Exhale and release. Step the feet wide, angling the toes out towards the corners of the mat. Tuck the tailbone under, draw the shoulder blades down the back, lift the chest. Inhale the arms to the side and overhead, and on an exhale, sink the hips as low and the arms down together, drawing the knees over the ankles if you can, tucking the tailbone towards the ground, drawing the elbows back and towards each other. Then we're going to bring the right elbow to the right thigh and extend the left arm up and overhead. Draw that shoulder blade back behind your ear. Palm faces the ground. Inhale up and over, left elbow to left thigh, right arm up and overhead. Holding that squat as deep as you can. Inhale and come up. Draw the palms to heart center. Release the legs. Exhale and sink the elbows and the hips at the same time. Goddess pose. And on this pose, we're going to inhale one heel up. Exhale the other heel up. So breathing and with your breath, lifting one heel and then the other. Inhale and extend straight up. Bring the hands to the hips, lift the chest, and exhale, hinge from the hips, bringing the hands to the mat or to the block for support. Wide angle forward fold. Inhale and exhale here, lifting the hips high. Placing the right hand on the ground directly underneath the nose. Inhale the left arm up and over for a gentle twist, opening it out to the side or overhead. Exhale, release. Replace the left hand with the right and open up through the right hand, opening through the chest, gentle twist through the back. And exhale, both hands come to the mat, walk the hands forward and sink the hips back away from the hands, dropping the chest towards the ground and the head towards the ground. Coming to a wide angle downward dog. We'll walk our hands back underneath our shoulders and make our way down to the mat. Tucking the right heel in towards the left hip, bringing the left foot flat on the ground on the inside of the knee or on the outside of the knee. Then hugging that left knee into the chest with the right arm, placing the left fingertips on the ground beside or behind you. Inhale and lift the chest. Exhale, hug the knee in as you gently twist to look over that left shoulder. If you have the space, you can bring the right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Now we're going to stack left ankle over right knee, right ankle under left knee. Coming into fire log pose, engaging through both toes to protect the knee joint. Notice the space between the left knee and the right ankle. And if there's a big gap there, then maybe leaning backwards just slightly to protect that hip joint. If there's a lot of openness in the hip, maybe you can hinge forward. Then we're going to come into a simple cross-legged pose, dropping that left ankle onto the ground and walking the hands forward to a comfortable forward fold, hinging from the hips, tilting the pelvis forward, rocking onto the front part of the sit bones. Inhale and exhale, softening through the back body. And inhale, walk the hands back up. We're going to tuck the left ankle in towards that right hip, placing the right foot flat on the ground on the inside or the outside of that left knee. And then using the left arm to hug the knee into the chest, placing the right fingertips on the ground beside or behind you. If you find a lot of space in the shoulders here, you can always bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale and lift through the spine, lengthen through the spine. Exhale and twist. Just dog as needed. Stacking the ankle over the knee now, knee over the ankle. Noticing again if there's a lot of space between that right knee and the ground or your other ankle, and leaning back on the hands if there is. If you find openness in the hips here, maybe placing one hand on the ankle, one hand on the knee, and shifting the pelvis forward, leaning the chest over that top leg, engaging through the toes, protecting the knee joint. Inhale and exhale, drop that right foot onto the ground in front of the left, and then walk the hands forward into a comfortable cross-legged forward fold, supporting yourself as much as needed. Inhale deeply into the back body, softening through the hips. Inhale and walk your hands back in, and pivot the feet flat onto the ground, place the palms on the ground behind the hips, fingertips reaching towards the hips. And inhale, press into the hands and the feet as you lift the hips high, coming into table position. Exhale and sink the hips low, drawing the hands to the knees and finding an angle from the shoulders to the hips. Nice straight line, and then slowly engaging the abs and slowly lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Press the fingertips strongly away from the heels for one big stretch, and then soften the whole body, opening the feet out wide as the mat, allowing them to relax open. Resting the hands, palms up next to the hip. Gently close the eyes. Inhale deeply through the nose and exhale, sigh it all out through the mouth, allowing the body to sink down into the ground, allowing the mind to become still and quiet. And if thoughts arise and you notice them, just letting them pass by, floating by on the stream like leaves or waves in the water. Draw the mind again and again back to the breath and back to the body lying here, softening through the fingers, through the arms and the shoulders, softening through the chest and the stomach, through the hips, the legs, all the way down into the toes, relaxing the muscles of the face, the top of the head, the back of the head, through the neck and the throat area, continuing to breathe deeply in and exhaling completely out. Inhaling, holding the breath for just a second, and exhaling, softening the body out, softening the breath. As you inhale and exhale here, imagining a deep well within you, as if you're sinking to the bottom of an ocean. Stillness and quiet, peace. And then gently coming to rest on the bottom of that ocean or pond, at the bottom of that well, not feeling any restriction or hindrance here, feeling weightless and quiet and soft, breathing here and inhaling, drawing the mind upwards, feeling the water flow through your body, energizing your body, warming and bringing light as it flows in through the top of your head, down through the body and out through the fingertips and out through the toes as you rise up, coming to the surface of the water, coming to the surface of awareness, gently wiggling your fingers and your toes, feeling this complete sense of peace, relaxation, and energy to bring with you as you very gently blink the eyes open, hug the knees into the chest, roll over to your right side, and take a few breaths here before pressing up to sitting, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And coming to sit, inhale the arms to the side and overhead, drawing the palms down through heart center. Namaste.